y'all, it's Michelle from Cozyegg, and this is episode 147, and today is Thursday, January 2nd, 2025. So happy new year. And it has only been a couple of weeks since my last video, so we are in unprecedented times here. But I thought, what better way to start off 2025 than by recording a video. Well, begin as we mean to go on, right? So here we are. We had a nice holiday, couple of holidays, I suppose. I did work the majority of the last 2 weeks, so pretty much just took off on the actual day for Christmas Day and New Year's Day, but that's okay. We do what we have to do. So not a lot of downtime, but I tried to make use of the downtime that I did have. And we had some family dinners and all that good stuff. I did finally get my Christmas decorating done. Better late than never, but it was quite late. But it's decorated now. I'm enjoying it. I love my Christmas tree lights and my candles and what have you. So I'm enjoying it in my little Christmas village and all that good stuff. We did scale back a little bit this year. We only put up 2 trees, and yep, there you go. So, and we do typically leave our decorations up through Epiphany, so they will probably come down not this weekend, but maybe next weekend, and then I sort of move into winter. And some friends were talking the other day about, winter stitching, and that they weren't particularly into like snowmen and things like that. And for me, when I think of winter stitching, I tend to think more like nature and woodland and, things like that. Not necessarily snowmen, but that's me. So anyway, you are probably being entertained quite extensively with whip parades and new starts and a look back at people's finishes and plans for the new year and all of that good stuff. And I will talk a little bit briefly about, kind of my tentative plans that I'm kind of kicking around. But for the most part, I think I talked about this last year, that for me, the new year doesn't really start over until the spring equinox. Because right now we're not, if you're in Texas, but we're in the, going into the deep part of winter, which for me, I am still wintering, which means, primarily that is a time for rest and nesting and, sort of hibernation, quiet, that sort of thing. It's an excellent time to have some introspection and, certainly you can do some planning, but I don't tend to start kind of my heavy, goal setting or my, New Year kickoff until the spring equinox. So we are still wintering here. So let's talk a little bit about what I have been working on, since it has only been 2 weeks and I did work the majority of that, as well as doing a lot of deep cleaning in the house and, you know, that sort of thing. I've not done a ton of stitching, but I have done a little bit. So I thought I would share with you, and I apologize, my allergies are like the mountain cedar here is super, super high, and people are getting what they call cedar fever or cedar flu, which is just miserable. So I've been sort of fighting with all of this stuff for a couple of weeks now. All right, so as can be expected, I worked on Henrietta Peaver. This is the model for the reproduction of an antique sampler that I am working on. And whenever I get this done, I will release the chart. So I think the last time you saw it, I've moved the Q-snap over a little bit, but I think the last time you saw it, I was just starting to work on the outer border here that has Henrietta's name and her age. So I was able to get this finished up. This is the only over one stitching that there is in the chart, unless you want to stitch the original verse, which will be charted in over one, but I am providing an over two alternate verse. So this is the only over one stitching that there is, which makes everybody happy. So I did finish up this piece, and then I had 3 motifs left. So this little guy, this big vase of tulips, and this little star down at the bottom. So that is all of the motifs, which I'm thrilled about. So I'm now working on my border, and I need to get this all filled in and finished, and I have some more to do over on the other side, but not much. So and then all that's left is the verse. So we're coming along, and I can't explain why I've just left this, but I did. So this is, like I said, this is Henrietta Peaver. I am stitching it on 40 count Seraphim bee's knees with NPI silks. So that is primarily what I've been working on. That's the only thing I've been working on, honestly. I plan to get back to my Sunday nights on Sparrow, on His Eyes on the Sparrow with Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts. I just kind of wanted to get past the holidays. Also, I don't know what day it is, so there's that. The other thing that I have been focusing on, which I talked about in my last video as well, is trying to get some unfinished projects out of my craft closet. So over the holidays, actually over Thanksgiving, we went looking for a stock pot that we have somewhere in this house, and we found it. But in the midst of looking for it, I came across 2 frames that I had, that I apparently was just, you know, keeping for posterity's sake or something, because I wasn't doing anything with them. And so I got them out and went through my finished pieces and said, what will fit in these frames? Because 2 things are getting framed. So I found 2 pieces that work with the frames, which I'm super excited about. And I managed to get one of them framed. The other one, I still need to lace, and then it will get its frame hopefully soon. But I did get one of them framed. So I wanted to share. This is Mary Snow by Hands Across the Sea. and I stitched this a couple of years ago. Christy from Crosshatch Quilts did a stitch along, and I think we started this on like December 1st or something, because, you know, we definitely felt like this was a very Christmas looking piece with the red and the green and everything. So I think we started this like December 1st, and I basically just stitched on this like straight through until I was done, because I just absolutely fell in love with it. And this is one of those pieces that the second I saw it, I gasped and said, I have to stitch that immediately. So that's what I did. And since I finished it, it has just been in my project roll. So when I found this frame, it's a silver frame, and so I was kind of like, I don't know what's going to work with that, but Mary Snow was the absolute perfect thing, I think, to go in there, because I feel like this silver really works with it being sort of Christmassy, sort of, you know, wintry looking, especially with those swans, which of course is the main reason why I wanted to stitch this piece, because I love swans. And I love the little houses. I love the little owls. I absolutely love everything about this piece, and I had so much fun stitching it. And I feel like I stitched it in DMC. I will go back and look, but I feel like I stitched it in DMC, and I know I stitched it on a 40 count Victorian Motto fabric. And I just absolutely love it, but I'm so thrilled that it fit in this frame and that I was able to kill two birds with one stone, meaning that I got this frame out of the place that I was storing it, that it wasn't doing anybody any good, and two, that I got this piece framed. So happy. So very excited about that, and I am thrilled to be able to have this out and enjoy it, especially right now, you know, where it's very seasonally appropriate. Not that I'm going to put it away, but it's perfect right now. So I'm excited to get the other piece framed so that I can show that to you and, you know, get that out of the closet as well. So yay for that. That's pretty much all that I have been working on over the past couple of weeks. So I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of tentative plans. Obviously, the number one priority is to get Henrietta finished, framed, released, so that you guys can stitch her too. That is my number one priority. And so until I get her done, that's what I'm focusing on, is just her. But I am starting to think ahead to, what do I want to work on next? What do I want to get out next? And so obviously, you know, my focus continues to be on wanting to finish some whips, get some things, you know, off my plate. And so I pulled kind of the ones that are at the top of mind that I would really like to work on first. And so the first one, I did show this to you last time because I was talking about kind of Christmas whips. This is Janet Reed by Chessie and Me. It's a reproduction sampler, and I am stitching it in the Gentle Art Simply Wools that it calls for. And this is a perfect winter project. And I'm stitching it on 32 count cookie dough by Needlebling. So that's where I'm at. And I would really like to get some time in on this, maybe get it finished, because I would really love to have this one done so that I can frame it and be done with that. The next piece is also kind of a winter piece. I started this last February and it's not a big piece, so I think I could easily finish this if I worked on it. And this is Rebecca Nurse by the Primitive Hair. A bunch of us started this in February last year as a stitch along. And it's really, like I said, it's not a big piece. It comes out to be like, you know, 5 by 7 or something on 40 count. So here's where I'm at. I'm stitching this on the called for Vintage Country Mocha with the called for DMCs, and I have the house completely done and that's 1692 there. And so really what I have left are her name. I need to put Salem, all the trees, and then all of this snow and the fence. So, but I don't think that this would take too much time to actually finish if I just worked on it. So I would really love to get that done during winter this year. And I think it would be a good project to pull out. The other piece, this is the piece that I started on spring equinox last year. This was kind of my new year, new start, as I mentioned, for my new year. And this is At Home by Brenda Gervais. This is another one that as soon as I saw it, it just took my breath away and I had to have it. So I decided that because my word for 2024 was home, that this was the perfect piece to kind of kick off my new year. And so I started it on, like I said, on the spring equinox. And my needle minder just attached itself to my scissors. Okay. I started on the spring equinox, and this is really all that I got done. But I had to rip out 2 sides of the border and restitch it. So, yeah. So all I got done was the basic border. I got a few flowers in there just because I wanted to have some color, but it's, again, this is not a huge piece. This is on 40 count. It's also on Vintage Country Mocha, which is what it calls for. And I'm stitching it with the called for threads, which are some DMCs and some Weeks dye works, it looks like. I'll check that in a minute. But I love this piece so much, and I'd really like to give it some more time, especially getting close to the spring equinox. I think that would be perfect. Let's see if I can find my threads. Nope, I must have pulled them out and used them in something else. I must have just pulled like literally the whole ring. So let's see what it calls for. DMC, Weeks, Classic Colorworks, Gentle Arts. Who knows where those threads are? I guess I'm gonna have to find them. But like I said, I would really like to work on this some more, getting close to the spring equinox. So I've got like my 2 winter pieces here and then moving towards spring, which I think is perfect. And then the last piece that I pulled is kind of the piece that I've been focusing on for dark 13 stitching. And that is, do I even have the right bag? Oh, look, here's my threads. These are my threads for at home. Glad I found them. There they are. I should probably put those back in the right thing. All right, so let's see if I even have the right bag. I do not. So let me go see if I can find the right bag. One moment, please. Okay, hopefully I have the right bag now. So the other piece that I have been focusing on for Dark 13 stitching, and then I worked on a bit during Dark October stitching, is my Greenhouse of Oddities, which is highly wrinkled, but that's okay. I love this so much. So that is the other piece I would like to work on. So those are kind of my top picks, the things that are calling to me the most. And really, like I said, I just want to focus on some whips, try to knock that list down and get some things off my plate, so to speak. The other things that I kind of want to focus on are, obviously, I need to work on my FFOs some more and trying to FFO things either by framing or actually doing, you know, finishing. I'm really wanting to get that done because I have a whole slew of them that I need to not be storing. I need to be like, they need to be out where I can enjoy them. So that's another thing I want to focus on. Of course, I'm going to continue working on clearing things out of my craft closet. And some of that is FFOing, some of that is some unfinished projects, some of that is just organizing and getting rid of things and dealing with some stuff that needs to be dealt with. And like I said, I'm kind of going in layers. So yeah, but that is going to be another focus of mine, is to try to get some of that stuff out of the closet. And then the last thing that I'd really like to focus on is I have been working on my stash inventory, mostly my threads, and getting those organized and making sure that I have a good list of what's what, what's where. And I have some fabric that I need to go through, some that I'm going to be getting rid of. But I want to know kind of what I have and how big the pieces are and all that good stuff. I don't have a ton of fabric, but I would like to better organize the pieces that I have. So that's the other thing. And then I may be doing some chart organizing as well, because I'm changing kind of the way that I've been inventorying my charts, and basically putting everything together in a big database so that I can add photos and notes and conversions and what have you, which I'm much better able to do than using my trusty Excel spreadsheet that I've been using for a million years. So moving everything over to Notion and doing that. So I kind of looked at the Xstitch app, and I know that there is someone that has a Notion template, and I just decided there's specific information that I want for me, and so I just created my own thing. So I've been working on that, and I want to go through my charts and make sure that I have everything in there, and maybe do a little bit of purging and weeding out at the same time. So that's the other project that I have kind of on the docket, is that I really want to finish working on that inventory so that I have a better idea of what I have and where it is and all that good stuff. And those are kind of my loose plans for what I'm gonna do stitching wise. I have some friends that are they're focusing on quilting this year, and that is another thing that I have neglected for a long time, at least 4 years, 5 years. So I would like to, at the very least, work on trying to kind of take an inventory of what I've got, what's in progress, where is it at, that sort of thing, because I would like to try to get some of those quilts finished as well. I have some that need to be quilted, some that I need to buy backing fabric for so that they can be quilted. I have some that the tops need to be finished. So I've various states of progress on things, and I'd really like to see some of those finished as well. That would make me feel really good. So, all right. I think that is it for stitching. So I'm going to talk a little bit about books. So for 2024, I set my Goodreads goal at 50 books, and I exceeded that, which I am a little shocked by, but I actually read 56 books last year, which is amazing. And I was surprised that I hit my 50 like in October, rather than it being kind of, last minute. But, good stuff. And I'm trying to find, okay, so when we last talked, I think I was working on the Crafternoon Social Club, which was the last Sampler Guild of the Rockies book club pick for the year. And so I was trying to get this done before book club, which did not happen. I did not get it finished, but I did finish it like the week after. I kind of lost steam after we had book club, because then I was like, and I think that this is the first in a series. I think there's at least 2 more books maybe. So the other thing that I read, which I talked about last time, which I was loving, but then my checkout at the library expired in the middle of the book. But I was able to get that back, and I was able to finish The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. This was really good. This was a cozy fantasy, really, really enjoyable. Highly recommend. And very low stakes, cozy, comforting. It was like the perfect thing that I needed kind of at the end of the year. So especially with the holidays and just, all the stuff going on. So very much enjoyed that. And I have been determined to post all of my finished books on my Invoking Beauty Instagram. So in the past 3 days, I have posted 45 or something books. Sorry, but I really wanted to get them posted. I wanted to have them up. I neglected to do that during the year. I'm going to try to be better this year. We'll see. But they're all over there if you're interested. And then after I finished the Spell Shop, I picked up the second book in the Throne of Glass series, Crown of Midnight. And I am about far away from finishing. So I just didn't get it done by the end of the year, which is fine because I wanted to savor it. I didn't want to rush through it. And I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm so glad that I am finally reading this series. I'm reading it with some friends. And I love that, of course, they whip through them. I'm well behind, but that's okay. But it's nice to be able to, read and discuss, etc. And we're all amped up for Onyx Storm, which is coming, which is the fourth wing book. And that is coming January 21st, which is super exciting. So, but I've been really, really enjoying this. So very glad that I picked those up. And then the next book that I'm going to read is actually the next selection for my book club for the Absinthe and Shadows Literary Society. And that is The Foxwife by Yangtze Chu. And I may or may not be pronouncing that correctly, but I'm very much looking forward to this. I wanted a book that was wintry, and this book came out last year, but I haven't heard a whole lot of chatter about it. And so I really hope it's good. It, I think, is kind of a murder mystery, paranormal, historical fiction kind of book. And so I'm really, really looking forward to it. It is supposed to be very atmospheric and, of course, takes place in wintertime. So, I think it'll be good. I hope it'll be good. So book club is on January 21st. So I want to make sure that I have time to read that. So that is what's next on my list. And other than that, I think that's about it. I'm, the boys are doing good, and we're taking it one day at a time and just being grateful for every day that we have. So yeah, so that's it. So thank you again for being here, for tuning in, for appreciating the kind of videos that I put out. I have seen more people doing, sort of a vlog format, which I think is great because I love that. And, what can I say? I of course got to, watch my favorite people do Vlogmas, and so that always makes my December like super special and happy and cozy, because I get to, you know, watch their videos every day, and I absolutely love that. And I did want to float something past you as well. So one of the things that I have been contemplating for 2025 is, you know, I think I mentioned a few videos ago that I have been watching, when I can, Krista from our sampler years does a Monday Stitch with Me, called Mondays with Mary, where, you know, she's basically just stitching on a Mary sampler and chatting. Now she does that live, but I'm really enjoying the format of the, you know, the Stitch with Me. So I'm contemplating doing Stitch with Me videos for Dark 13 stitching. It may not always be on the 13th, but it'll be around there. But I was contemplating doing that and working on, you know, of course, a dark project, and just chatting. And part of what I love about the Stitch with Me format is that, unlike vlogs where you kind of have to watch what's going on, with a Stitch with Me, you know, you can basically just be stitching and listening, and you don't even necessarily have to be watching. And so it's just a very kind of cozy, informal, you know, like you're just sitting with a friend, you know, listening to them chat. So I thought I might give that a try. Let me know what you think. And yeah, we'll take it from there. I'll have to see if I can like figure out how to set that up so that I have a camera set up the correct way, but we can work that out. So, all right. I think that's it for me. I'm going to record a quick video about The Foxwife so that I can announce that for book club. And yeah. Thanks so much for joining. Happy 2025. And if you're like me, please continue wintering and enjoying your time of rest and introspection. And when it comes to, you know, the spring equinox, that's when it's time to get started on things. So enjoy, and Happy New Year. Thank you. Happy stitching.